Imagine if you could put just $100 a week into a plan so simple, so predictable, that you could almost forget you're getting rich. Sounds like a little, right? But while many try to guess the next boom, true investors silently build wealth. Week after week. Today, you'll discover the exact method that can transform small contributions into $1 million fortune. No need for luck, no need to win the lottery, and no need for a sky-high salary. The difference between those who achieve financial freedom and those who always live on the edge isn't talent. It's discipline. And if you follow this path to the end, you can forever change what you believe is possible with just $100 per week. Most people don't fail due to lack of opportunity. They fail because they never learned to play the money game the right way. From an early age, we are trained to spend, study to earn well, work to pay bills, consume to feel alive. But almost no one is taught to think like an investor. The result? Thousands of people with good salaries remain trapped in the same cycle month after month. They live to maintain a standard, not to build wealth. And when they think about getting rich, they imagine something grand, a genius idea, a business that explodes, a stroke of luck. But real wealth isn't a leap, it's a road. And that road starts with small, consistent steps. The problem is, it doesn't offer adrenaline or instant rewards. That's why few stay on it. The method of investing $100 per week seems too simple to be taken seriously, but it's precisely this simplicity that makes it so powerful and so ignored. Most people seek shortcuts, but you're about to see how the most direct path is often the least glamorous and the most effective. Investing $100 per week might not seem like much at first glance, but once you understand how time and compound interest work in your favor, that modest amount becomes a wealth multiplying machine. Let's look at the numbers. If you invest $100 per week, that's $400 per month. That's $4,800 per year. Now consider that the S&P 500, one of the most stable indexes in the US economy, has delivered an average return of around 10% per year over the past decades. With this return, over 30 years, you won't just have $144,000, which would be the gross invested amount, but over $1 million in accumulated wealth. That's right, $1 million, starting from just $100 per week. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about behavior. Most people underestimate the power of time. They want results in months. But it's in the years, and especially the decades, that the magic happens. The first 5 years feel slow. The first 10 are just the foundation. But after year 15, the curve explodes. That's when interest stops being mere cents and becomes the main engine of your wealth. Now think about this. How many $100 bills have you already spent this month on things that didn't change your life in any way? A dinner out, 3 delivery orders, 2 trips to the mall. What today seems like a small, momentary pleasure, tomorrow could be the missing piece that takes your wealth to the next level. The truth is simple. If you can spend, you can invest. The difference lies in who has clarity about where they want to go. And the most powerful thing about this method is that it's democratic. You don't need advanced knowledge in finance, nor a millionaire mentor. You just need a reliable brokerage, a solid ETF, like the VOO, which replicates the S&P 500, and a commitment. Every week without fail, you invest. With time and consistency, the money you plant becomes a tree that bears fruit and shade. But if it's so simple, why can't most people follow this plan? Because the real game isn't just about numbers. It requires patience, and that's where almost everyone stumbles. Investing $100 per week isn't hard on paper. What's hard is sticking to the plan when results take time to appear. In the first years, progress seems slow, almost invisible. You look at your statement and think, is that it? This is where many give up. They don't see they're at the beginning of the exponential curve, at the quietest part of the journey, the part that separates the impatient from the millionaires. Most people abandon the game in the valleys. These valleys are the periods when the money hasn't grown enough to motivate, and the results don't seem to justify the effort. But every building cycle has this moment. The farmer plants long before reaping. The marathoner runs miles before crossing the finish line. And with investments, it's no different. In the first 5 years, you're building foundations. Between years 10 and 15, you start seeing fruits. And after that, the growth accelerates like an avalanche gaining momentum. To understand this power, think about Sarah, an ordinary teacher who started investing at 25. Just $100 per week. She ignored the headlines, didn't try to predict the market, didn't let fear take over. She simply followed the plan. By 55, she had surpassed $1 million in wealth, not because she did something extraordinary, but because she did the ordinary with extraordinary consistency. The secret is trusting the process. The market will fluctuate. Crises will come. But those who focus on the long term and invest with discipline always come out stronger. The key is to make investing a habit as automatic as brushing your teeth. You don't debate whether to do it, you just do it. Now that you understand the power of time and consistency, the question is, where exactly do you start? The first step is simple. Make $100 per week a non-negotiable part of your budget. But the real question is, are you ready to begin? Starting to invest $100 per week might seem intimidating if you've never taken the first step. But the truth is, today, with the right technology and resources, it has never been easier. The first step is understanding where that $100 will come from. And the answer is in cutting what you don't miss. Subscriptions you barely use, late lunches, impulsive purchases. Use a budgeting app like Mint, YNAB, or even a simple spreadsheet and categorize your expenses. In less than a week, you'll find room. Next, you need a brokerage. Platforms like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, or even apps like Robinhood and SoFi allow you to start with small amounts without exorbitant fees. Create your account, link it to your bank, and enable the automatic investment option. This automation is what turns good intentions into real results. Now comes the crucial part. Where to invest? The simple and safe answer? ETFs. An ETF like VOO, which replicates the S&P 500 index, exposes you to the 500 largest companies in the US. It's diversified, resilient, and historically profitable. You don't need to pick individual stocks or try to predict the future. Just trust in the market's growth over time. And if you want to make it even more automatic, use the recurring contribution function. Every Friday, $100 leaves your account and goes straight into your ETF. Zero effort, zero excuses, just discipline. From here, your focus doesn't need to be on how to invest, but rather on who you're becoming. And that's where the real shift happens. Reaching your first million doesn't start with an investment. It starts with a decision to stop living in survival mode and start building mode. The scarcity mindset makes you think, I don't have enough money to invest. But the abundance mindset says, with what I have now, what can I build? This shift is subtle, but it changes everything. When you start investing consistently, something changes inside you. You stop seeing money as something just for spending and start seeing it as an ally. Every dollar becomes a soldier working for you. And even if your salary doesn't change, your mindset does. You walk differently. You decide differently. Because now you're not just surviving, you're building something few have, freedom. This new mindset also protects you. In moments of crisis, you don't panic because you have a plan, a safe harbor. And that harbor isn't in the circumstances, it's in your behavior. Discipline, patience, and long-term vision aren't just virtues, they're financial superpowers. And when you internalize this, something surprising happens. You realize that $1 million isn't the end of the journey. It's just the beginning. Now that you know the way, the only step left is to start. No matter where you are today, with discipline, patience, and the $100 per week method, you can build a fortune. And remember, this is not a get-rich-quick plan. It's a solid wealth-building plan. Over a lifetime, it can transform your relationship with money in the future. But don't let this chance slip away. The biggest mistake you can make is waiting until tomorrow. The best time to start investing was yesterday. The second best time is today. If you don't start now, you'll just be postponing the future you deserve. So what will you do with your next $100? Will you invest it or let another opportunity slip by? The choice is yours, but by deciding to start, you'll already be closer to your first million than most people. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this video with friends, and leave your comment below. And remember, the journey to $1 million starts with the first step. How about taking yours now?